Hello, and welcome to My Point of View Movie Reviews. Today's review is a retro joint. In fact, a Spike Lee joint. July the 2nd, during July 4th weekend, Spike Lee released his new movie, The Summer of Sam. A hard R, and this movie is 2 hours and 22 minutes. And this is probably one of the hardest Spike Lee movies that I ever sat through. This movie has extreme subject matter. It deals with the true life story of serial killer David Berkowitz. In 1977, this man terrorized the whole city of New York. They called him the 44 caliber killer. This man was walking up to people in parked cars and blowing their brains out. He aimed for the face and head every time. This project with Spike Lee was ambitious, it was creative, inventive, and for me, a very tough watch. Not that I didn't like it, like I said, the subject matter really disturbed me. In 1977, New York was a record-breaking summer for heat. It was so hot they had blackouts. And when you got blackouts, you're gonna get rioters, you're gonna get looters, you're gonna get people stealing and robbing. Also, the Yankees was in the World Series going for their 21st pennant against the LA Dodgers. But excuse me if I'm sweating. I was playing basketball for about an hour out here and it is hot as hell. I came home, took a shower, but my body is still radiating heat right now, so I apologize if I seem a little shiny on camera. But this movie stars John Leguizamo, Mara Sorvino, and Spike Lee makes an appearance in this movie. He plays a news character named John Jeffries. It's pretty funny. The dude has an afro. He has those sideburns that look like pork chops. But this movie is truly disturbing. The violence portrayed in this movie by Spike Lee, he holds no punches. Back in the 1970s, people used to make out in their cars all the time. This makes them easy prey for the 44 caliber killer. He nicknamed himself the Son of Sam. Hence the movie is called The Summer of Sam. This man was satanic. He worshiped the devil. In his apartment, he had all these devil symbols and demonic images. He was filthy. He was short, pudgy. He looked like he wasn't somebody who would hurt you, but you know, serial killers come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. His apartment was filthy. He had roaches. Roaches was in his food that he ate daily. It was disgusting. The unique thing about this man, he got commands to kill people from a dog, a huge black dog, a Rottweiler. When the dog is barking, it was his neighbor's dog, by the way. The neighbor come over there, and you know how dogs senses evil? And they look at you and be like, ruff, 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 ruff. They know something's wrong. The owner trying to hold the dog back, calm down. He knew that man was evil. But when the dog is barking, in David's head, he hears, kill, kill. So every bark in his mind was kill. Ruff, ruff, ruff. No, kill, kill, kill. He would go out and kill people. And over a span of that summer, he killed 6 people, injured 7, and his victims were white Italians. This movie took place in an Italian Northeast neighborhood. And all his victims, 99% were female, shoulder-length black brunette hair, and a few men. And those were his victims. And he made the headlines all summer. He was bigger than the World Series. You know, the Yankees had Reggie Jackson, he was hitting the home runs. The 44 caliber killer was stealing the headlines. Now, this movie deals with so much incredible subject matter that disturbed me. John Leguizamo's character, his name is Vinnie. His best friend, played by Adrian Brody's name was Ricky. And they were childhood friends from little tots. Well, they grew up. Ricky ran off to Europe, London, and became a punk rock singer. Obviously, he wasn't very good because he moved back to the States, back home to the Bronx, and moved in with his mother and her new boyfriend at the time. And he was a grown-ass man with no job, borrowing money from his mom. And, you know, he was into some weird shit, you know. He was probably gay. We're not really sure. He was probably bisexual, because later on he dated women, but he was into some really freaky stuff. He used to dance live at a porno shop. He would dance with these huge dolls, and he would do weird things with knives, and it was really, really disturbing to watch. And he did sexual favors with men and women. So, you know, he could have been gay or he could have been bisexual. But Italians in the 70s are very, very brute, very masculine. So they use words like faggot and fag, you know, weirdo, and, you know, very cruel people. And they hate the brothers. I'm not from New York, but growing up out there, I guess blacks and Italians never got along and hated each other. You stay in your set, we stay in our set, and we cool. And don't look at our women, and we won't look at yours. But yeah, it's really. If you watch a lot of Spike Lee movies, there's a lot of tension in this movie between Italians and blacks. This movie's no different, but this is based on a true story. And it's funny because Spike Lee had an interview about this movie, and he told the interviewer, "Look, man, that dude David Berkowitz was crazy. He was insane, but he wasn't stupid. He did not go to the black neighborhoods and fuck with the brothers or the sisters. We would have killed his ass. He didn't go to the Puerto Rican part of the neighborhoods because they would have fucked him up too. So yeah, he only killed white Italians. So he knew what he was doing." And John Leguizamo's character, Vinnie, was married to Mary Savino. They had a wonderful marriage. They were disco dancers. They traveled all over the city to discos. They were the best dancers. Kind of remind me of Saturday Night Fever. Dude can dance his ass off. And Mary Savino is beautiful. She's a great dancer, great dance partner. They look like the ultimate couple. But behind closed doors, you know, things happen. And Vinnie was also a hairstylist. Yeah, okay, in the 1970s, you had a hairstylist, so people called him a faggot and a gay weirdo as well. It was a trip. But he made good money doing hair. He was a great dancer, had a beautiful wife, but everything that glitters isn't always gold. He was constantly cheating on his wife, doing drugs, and after a while, you spiral out of control. And during the summer when it's extremely hot, the neighborhood is going crazy, you're scared to go outside at night, and it got so bad that this dude was killing people during broad daylight. Walk up on you and blast you in your face and head. He didn't aim for the body, he aimed for the head and face every time and put holes up in you. And he was only killing brunettes, so women all over the New York City were getting their hair dyed blonde, buying blonde wigs. It was a crazy time. And this movie is directed fashionably. And, you know, in those days back then, people would go to these wild parties, and John was experimenting, Vinnie's character. And they took his wife to this one party. They was doing cocaine. It was a huge orgy. And when you do cocaine and go to an orgy, you know what's going to happen. You're going to sleep with different people. His wife was very naive. She was not into that. He's fucking chicks right in front of her. And she thought it's what, you know, he wanted to do and wanted her to do. So she had sex with two men at the same time. He's over here busting nuts on this one girl, and he stopped and looked and seen his wife having sex with two men, and he lost it. And on the drive home, it was quiet in the car. In the background, he had the music playing by ABBA, Dancing Queen. And, you know, they're not talking. It's awkward silence. She goes, "Do you want to talk about it?" And he called her a slut, whore, bitch, motherfucker, spit in her face. "How could you do that to me?" She goes, "Wait a minute. You took me to this party. We was under influence of drugs. I thought it's what you wanted." And he was cussing her out, spitting in her face. She was slapping the shit out of him while he was driving. And he said, "Get out the car, bitch, get out the fucking car." She goes, "No, this is my car. In fact, you get out, motherfucker." And they was arguing back and forth. He spit on her again. She slapped the shit out of him. She finally got out the car. He was like, "I'm sorry, babe. I'm just tripping because I'm sensitive." And she goes, "No, fuck you. I'm tired. Matter of fact, I knew you fucked my cousin. You thought I didn't know about that shit. Yeah, motherfucker, you fucked my cousin." He's like, "Oh shit, yeah, you a dirty, low down, you calling me a whore and a bitch? No, you're the whore, you're the bitch. You don't want to do hair for a living. You are a punk ass bitch, motherfucker." And she loses it in the street. And they're out there in the dark, in the woods, right? And she's like, "I'll walk, fuck you. No, baby, get back in the car." And then she's like, you know what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna wait till some soul brother come pick me up in his big black Cadillac, and he can fuck me with his big black dick, cause you know all black guys are hung, baby. And he's like going nuts, cause let me tell you, every Italian man's worst fear is they women fucking a black dude. Yeah. And this movie brings that painfully apparent to the forefront, because they went to a club earlier that night, right? And they was waiting in line. These two brothers looked at him and said, damn, baby, you are fine. Shoot. Baby, if I get a chance, can I dance with you later? She's like, oh. And he was like, shit, you ain't dance with no jigs on my watch, motherfucker. You know, Italians don't like that. But the funny thing about this whole Italian thing, John Leguizamo is not Italian. He's Latin. And that was a big thing in 1999. People were trying to protest against this movie because it wasn't all Italian. John Leguizamo was the lead and he was Latin. You know, people are silly. You know, dude was a great actor and he played a damn good Italian. But yeah, this movie spirals out of control. So Vinnie is losing his whole family. His friends are turning on him because they're teasing his best friend Ricky for being weirdo and gay and all this other stuff, or bisexual. He's trying to defend him. But when you have Italian friends, they make you choose a side. It's either Vinnie, you and your friend, or us. They're fighting all the time, beating each other up. You know, Italians are a trip. But the whole time this is going on, this dude is walking around killing people in the neighborhood. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. The World Series, they're talking about the World Series. The Italians that think that, you know, Reggie Jackson wears the number 44. Hell, he's a 44 caliber killer. These Italians are losing their fucking minds in this movie. But that's what really happened, you know. And then Vinny's buddy Ricky, since he was a weirdo, they had a police drawing of the 44 caliber killer, but they thought he might look like, and it looked just like Ricky. If you add spikes to the picture, they go, yeah, your best friend's the killer. So they go beat his ass. You know, this movie is crazy. Vinny's wife leaves his ass. He has no friends. He lost his best friend. And the movie spirals and spirals and spirals out of control. Then they finally catch the killer. And things start to simmer down. But it's too late. The neighborhood is destroyed. There's riots. People are getting beat up. Homophobia is a big thing in this movie, so they're beating up all kind of people who dress funny. And this movie is disturbing to watch because, let me tell you, it's vivid. Lots of sex scenes in this movie, if you're into that thing. But this orgy scene was, yeah, it's vivid. The shootings are vivid and bloody. But the dance sequences, when they go to the club and dance, it's remarkable. John Leguizamo is a fantastic dancer. And Mira Sorvino was beautiful. She knows how to wear those dresses and dance. It was incredible to watch. And the soundtrack of the 70s was amazing. But yeah, the Yankees won the World Series against the Dodgers 4-2. They caught the 44 caliber killer, the Son of Sam. And finally, the Summer of Sam came to a close. It's a bold movie by Spike Lee. It's hard for me to recommend this movie to people, but if you're a history buff and want to know about the killing, I say watch it. If you're a Spike Lee fan, you might watch this movie, but it might not be one of your favorite Spike Lee movies because there's hardly any black people in this movie, except for one scene and Spike Lee himself playing a newscaster. So you're really got to be into Italian to really like this movie. It is a trip, and they cuss every second of the moment. And that's just the way it is. The Summer of Sam, Spike Lee joint. This movie is controversial. And it didn't make a lot of money. It was on the heels of He Got Game. So we thought it was going to be a breakout hit coming out July 4th weekend. But the movie essentially tanked because Spike Lee blames newspaper clippings. They were making him to be a bad guy. He's trying to make money off this killer who killed these poor families, and it was a bunch of mess in 1999. You know, when you're an independent filmmaker that's black, it's tough to make it in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? But until the next time, be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, and more importantly, leave your comments down low. I'm out. Summer of Sam. Peace. If I offend you, then you probably don't understand me. But if I inspire you, then you will learn to love me. It's just my point of view.